Good afternoon, everybody. Hopefully, you guys had an amazing day today. I know that I did. It was a really good way to start the new week back. Now, last week we made some changes into the weekend, and I looked around and I was like, you know what? I want to sort of switch up how I'm focusing on my trades because I look around and I want to make sure that people that are learning here are able to manage these trades effectively. And so, sort of decreasing priority on some trades and placing more priority on other trades that might be a little bit easier to manage and learn from. And so, really good stuff today. We're going to walk through everything from start to finish, from what we traded in the pre market session this morning and all the way through the open. And overall, I'm just very happy with the morning. HCWV was amazing. I'm going to walk through exactly how we did it when we traded the whole 9 yards. Let's go ahead and dive into it. Now, this morning was pretty good, and we know last week was pretty slow going into the Jackson Hole speech with Powell on Friday where they signaled rate cuts. And the big thing with that is we saw a lot of strength in small caps on Friday after that. We saw strength in the whole market after that. But what to note here is on Friday, we can look here at VU, which of course tracks the S&P, and we saw a nice move up on Friday. But the big thing that I saw here that really stood out was looking at small cap growth, a massive move on small cap growth through its 52-week highs. Well, close to it. And so I'm looking at this here and a big move on Friday here on small cap growth. And so what that tells me is a lot of these smaller speculative stocks are likely getting a bit of rotation into them, a lot of volume rotating into small cap speculative names. And so that's exactly what we're seeing today, what we saw to start on Friday. And again, you have to look over at crypto as well with all this crypto activity too. Again, that also sort of goes hand in hand with the speculative names, but it's a great sign. So really saw a lot of that today come true. And we're going to break down all these trades real quick. Shouldn't take us too long here, but some really valuable stuff for us to go over. And I'm just very happy with the morning. Now, we started with HCWB. This thing looked pretty good. We had daily range here. It was awesome. The big thing we're focusing on are these really supply and demand based range style trades. And so really good stuff here in HCWB where this thing pulls back. You see the first rally, price pulls back, puts in place a bottom. You're off of VWAP, reverses back up to the highs. We have this area of interest formed off of VWAP. Then price pulls back off VWAP again, finds a buyer back up into the highs. And so now we reject again twice. So we have this area of supply overhead where you identified sellers all through here. Again, you have sellers all through these highs. And we know we have buyers sitting here off of VWAP. And so what we can do is just play the trend here, ride the trend, and able to capture a pretty nice play here. As you can see here, we had this nice higher low form. Look at this higher low after it confirms. Took a beautiful play here. Boom. Right here at 540 for the move back up into the 560s and captured it to a T. Again, just playing in this tightening wedge. Then we can mark it open. It knives, moves to the backside, as you can see here. And so, of course, we're not going to play it down here because it is a backside move. You don't want to go fight the trend. Wait for it to reclaim. It halts up over pre-market highs. And so from there, let's look for a nice dip and rip. And, of course, we're not going to go chasing this thing as it's overextended. Let's wait for it to put in place a base first. And so this thing pulls back out of its halt. We find a big buyer here off the halt price where it, again, pulls all the way back, finds a big buyer off the halt price, begins to pull back again. So I take the entry here, risking off the bottom of this candle at 575. So 625, risking 575. Not a great position to entry, but nonetheless traded it well and captured a nice little play here, as you can see, from 625 back up into 650. Again, back up into this previous high, as you can see right here. I wanted to see the squeeze up higher towards 7, but we saw a double top form off the high, so went ahead and took a full exit and looked for a re-entry. The big thing now is we had tighter risk on this go around because as we can see here, as we put a bottom in place where we have this double bottom here formed, so I want to see these lows hold. And so then on the following entry, we're able to get a little bit more aggressive, and I took it here nicely from, as you can see again, 620, or I guess really 618, to about 625. So a nice little base hit trade, trading this range. Now, we have this tightening wedge forming. Look at this here. Price breaks down beneath, retests the halt price, and then reclaims quickly. Look at this. It bounces right back to reclaim, back over this past low. So picture perfect entry here. Take it here at 610, risking 6, 10 cents a share of risk, and capture this here all the way to 650 for 40-cent move to the upside. Amazing trade. Amazing trade. So all this through here, amazing. Right now we're 4 for 4 on this. And then we get breaking up through the highs. I don't play it here because we're buying up into trendline resistance. So again, range here sucks. But as it breaks, it pulls back and does what again? Same thing back here. Puts in place a range. Price breaks up. Consolidation. Break back to the high. Pulls back. Forms a lower low. Breaks back to the high. Pulls back. Lower low. And so we're putting in place this widening descending channel, which is typically a bullish pattern. And so we have this again, defined risk formed here where we actually have multi-piece confluence. Take a look. We have the lower low forming this sort of trendline support area. But we also have this past high of day right here too, where this acts as an area of confirmation, where price pulls back and grabs liquidity again here out of this area of previously found demand. So again, we know price pulls back. You have demand sitting here, grabs liquidity for the reversal back higher. Able to play this 2 more times for a beautiful play. As you can see right here, I was able to play it back from 692 back to 715, and then back from 695 back to 715. And then from there, I was done with this one. But really happy with that. Could not have been any happier. Moving on from that, we had Thor. Thor was quite nice from last night's watch list. And I'm pretty happy with it this morning. Obviously made a pretty big move today that I left some money on the table with. This trade was nice, playing it off, simple pullback off of VWAP, nothing too crazy there. But the big picture trade here was out of its halts. We had this 1-minute micro pullback here over the 9-moving average where, take a look, it halts, it resumes high, pulls back. We see this big wick off the low, hammer off the low as it fills this gap back to halt price. Again, hammer above the 90 MA, risking off the 90 MA for the leg back higher. And again, capture this with a pretty awesome move here from 647 back to about $7. And so really did well there. Of course, it made a move higher, but I went ahead and took profit after we found this big liquidity grab off the highs. I figured it was the top. Surely it was not, but again, still a beautiful trade. Not trying to time the tops here, just trying to trade as best we can. Went on over to Velo. Velo was kind of a choppy one here. Have a small win in the morning, but it was okay. I played it here from 5 to about 522. I came in initially. I had a little bit too much size in it, so I had to take some size out of it here, but still got the move, so not too bad. Little play here off the pre-market trend. Again, playing the pullbacks here off moving averages, using this past area of liquidity as confluence. This is my area of previously formed demand. Again, confluence, back up to the high. So again, nice trade there. Again, this hammer off the high was my sign for an exit. Traded that well. Then we had OPAD, which really crappy breakout setup. You have this ascending wedge, which I typically stay away from. But try to take it here off the 1-minute pullback for the breakup higher. And it was just so heavy, I went ahead and cut it for a 3-cent loss. So that was pretty much the morning there. But overall, really good day. I'm extremely happy with it. It was a really good morning. Very cookie cut price action, very easy to trade, and overall seeing some good stuff out there in the chat as well. Looks like you guys had an amazing day, so that makes me extremely happy. That being said, though, ready to go into the rest of the week and continue to crush it. If you learned something from this video, make sure to subscribe for daily content just like this. And of course, make sure to claim your 7-day free trial down in the description below, where you'll get access to watch these trades in real time, the watch list, education, the chat room access, and so much more. I'll see you guys there.